Hey guys, I'm Bo Taylor. I'm the owner of The Roof Group, the roof guy they call me, and I'm here to answer your question of what is the deal with all of the roofers knocking on my door in Texas. Many of you homeowners, especially in Texas, have experienced 5, 10, maybe 20 roofers knocking on your door in a short period, and they're leaving cards and they're bugging you and they're calling the house. And it gets pretty old pretty fast, and roofers can have a bad name because of that, quite frankly. I want to kind of break down what's going on. So first and foremost, what's going on is your home has been involved in some type of weather event, a storm event. Generally, the roofers will buy these swaths that show where hail fell. And once hail falls, they have 1 year to work that claim. There's 1 year to file a claim. And so in the beginning, they're going to hit your neighborhood pretty hard. They're going to hit it again about a month later, 3 months, 6 months, even a year later. They're going to do one final push in your neighborhood. So you might notice a couple neighbors getting a roof, and then maybe another neighbor didn't get a roof. Maybe you even filed a claim and you were told no by your insurance company. You didn't have enough damage, which is another reason that you need to call the roof group. If you were told by your insurance company or a roofer that you don't have enough damage to warrant a replacement, I would love to take a look at your roof, because I couldn't disagree more. But if you've seen granular loss, missing shingles, buckled shingles, issues like that are caused by hail, wind, weather events here in Texas. In Texas, it's a buyer beware state, which means it's an unlicensed state. So the guy at Arby's who sells you a sandwich in the afternoon, he can own a roofing company by evening time, because anyone can open a roofing company. There's no licensing. And so that can be a problem if you choose the wrong company. And that's why there's so many of them coming by. There's over 8,000 contractors in DFW alone. And that's why you get such a high volume of people coming by. But I will say this, they're not coming by for no reason. If you're getting those knocks on your door, it's because there's a strong chance that you do have damage, fair and legitimate damage. Now, the insurance company, your neighbor gets a new roof, and a few other people in the area you notice have gotten a new roof. It isn't out of the goodness of the insurance company's heart, you know? This isn't something where we're getting over on the bad insurance company with some trick. The last thing they want to do is spend money. And so if they do so, it's because contractually they owe money for some type of damage. Now, that begs the question. You look up at your roof and you're thinking, well, I don't have any damage. I guess I've got some granular loss, but nothing you can really see, because it's very hard to see hail damage from the ground. One, even when you're on the roof, it's hard to see. There's so many jobs that we get at the roof group because another roofer has told the homeowner, you don't have any damage. We go up there and find that there is hail damage, bring the insurance company out, and they pay for the entire roof. The reason being is because there's a lot of training on the insurance side, but there isn't a lot of training on the roofing side. And while you may be able to nail on shingles really well, that doesn't mean you're qualified to actually determine storm damage on a roof. And that's what we specialize in. And a lot of other good companies, but there are mostly bad companies. Probably 70% of the roofers in Dallas-Fort Worth are not qualified to be determining whether or not you have sustained the type of damage that requires a roof replacement paid for by your carrier. So you need to be careful who you choose. I'm biased, and I think you should choose me, but there are also, I have to admit, some other good companies out there. And so make sure you get someone that specializes in insurance claims. It can mean the difference between tens of thousands of dollars. But the fact that we have these unlicensed, they all want your job. They want to come get a piece of that. So they're knocking on your door. They're paying for lead generation services. They're calling your house. And the reason is because you probably have some type of damage. And what any good roofing company should offer is a free, no obligation inspection where they can come out, fly a drone around, take some pictures, and they, one, need to be able to show you that you have fair and reasonable damage. So you can't take someone's word for it. If they can't come down and show you legitimate damage, then you shouldn't be filing a claim. However, if you do have some granular loss, even though the insurance company might tell you that they don't pay for granular loss in and of itself, they do if that damage caused your warranty to be voided, which in almost every case of excessive granular loss, it does. And so, one, you want to make sure that these companies have been around for a little bit, to make sure that they have insurance, and to make sure that they don't take any money up front. No matter what they tell you, if a company doesn't have the credit line to purchase the materials, they get a 30-day net, which means they have 1 month in most cases to pay it off. By that time, they should have installed your roof properly. When you're happy, then you can pay them that check. They deposit it, they can pay off their supplier. It shouldn't cost them any money at all. So don't pay anyone up front. That's a big no-no. Even if they're a good company, only bad things can happen. As the homeowner, to protect your best interest, you want to make sure that they install the roof correctly, and that they do it to follow the insurance company's scope of loss. And so when they file a claim, they're going to give you a scope of loss. You're going to check off all that, make sure that the roofer does that they replace the drip edge, that they give you synthetic felt. If you have a 3-tab roof in Texas, you have no excuse to have that roof anymore. If you're in Texas, you probably got hail damage, and that's an awful roof, and every roofer will give you a free upgrade to an architectural shingle to earn your business. And so that's another thing. Make sure that they're offering you something that's fair and equitable. You're going to have to pay your deductible. Your only out of pocket is your deductible. But if I can get a brand new $20,000 roof for the price of a deductible, and I get an upgrade to an architectural shingles, I don't have to pay any money up front, so I'm taking no risk here until the roof is installed and I'm happy. That's a pretty big win for a homeowner, especially when you look at roofs in Texas. At around the 9-year mark, they become high risk to the insurance company, which means there's a strong chance that your premium's going to be going up, but your coverage is actually going to be going down. And so as a homeowner in Texas, I'm going to be looking to replace my roof every 10 years. I'm going to go ahead and consider whether I have damage or not from a storm-related event, because that's what's in my best interest. And lastly, I'll leave you with this. As a homeowner, you're like, I don't have any damage. These hawks, they're coming around, they're beating on my door. I don't want anything. Just get out of here, leave me alone. They're not coming for no reason, as I said earlier. But as a homeowner, as a policy holder, you have something that's called a reasonable expectation to protect your property from further damage, meaning that you have 1 year to file a claim after a storm event, or the insurance company can rightly so not cover it, because they're going to say, hey, he didn't do his part of the contract. He didn't notify us of any type of damages, so we were not able to address or mitigate those damages, so we're not covering any of this, because it exposes them to more liability. And so even if you don't think you have damage, if you call the roof group or another good company out and have them take a look at your property, what's going to happen is you'll be covering that due diligence. They're not going to raise your rates. They're not going to drop you from coverage. You're doing nothing wrong. You can even call the insurance company and say, look, I don't think I have any damage at all, but this roofer here, he's saying I do. Can you come out and determine whether or not that's the case? Settle the bet for us, essentially. I put that in front of homeowners all the time that are sometimes hesitant to file a claim, because people think they're doing something wrong, like they got in a car accident and they're going to be in trouble or raise their rates. If you're in a legitimate storm area and your neighbors are getting roofs, without question, you need to have a roofer come out, but there's a good chance that you probably need to have the insurance company come out and take a look at it. Because what happens with hail damage is It's a reduction in the service life of the roof. What doesn't look like much to you causes your roof to deteriorate exponentially, meaning if you had 10 years left and now you only have 4 years left on your roof, that's a form of damage that's hard for you to see when you pull into your driveway every day. And so I hope that answers some of the questions of what's the deal with all of these ridiculous roofers knocking on my door. And while some of them are ridiculous, it's not for no reason. And so I hope that you can see the other side of things and consider having your roof looked at by a qualified professional.